What is the bank?
What's going on, boxing fans? This is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Visit the web at www.sbmboxing.com. Let's speak boxing. We're less than 7 days away catching the mega fight. Happened on Saturday the 14th at MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. Saul Canelo Alvarez will be taking on the king, pound for pound king, undefeated king, Floyd Mayweather Jr. I just wanted to create this video and speak about episode 3 of All Access Showtime. I was about to say 24/7, but no, it's Showtime, All Access. Sipping on some water. No sangria tonight. Can't. Got blood work 8:30 in the morning. They're actually coming out, drawing some blood. Not just because it's random blood urine test or anything like that for the fight or anything like that, but it's just usually when you get a life insurance and stuff, they want to make sure if I changed policy, so Allstate came out and they're going to come out and draw a blood test for everything before they go ahead and insure me. But anyways, let's speak some boxing. Let me go ahead and lower this real quick. This episode of All Access, there's a lot of stuff going on. Floyd Mayweather Jr. being Floyd Mayweather Jr., showing his cars, showing his money, showing his entourage, showing what money can buy, showing the lavish lifestyle, of just basic what he was able to obtain from a long career, successful career in boxing. Canelo Alvarez, he was doing his final preparations, leaving Big Bear, heading to Las Vegas. This is the last week, so you showed him, having a cookout, finalizing everything, just hard work, dedication. He's sitting there just busting his ass. He didn't want to disclose his weight whatsoever, but he said, quote unquote, if the fight was tomorrow, he'd be ready to go. So he definitely put in his time, he put in his work. Canelo said it. Canelo said, you know what, this is my hardest training camp. This is the hardest I ever trained, and I'm ready to go. I put it all into it, so no excuses on that aspect. He's more than ready as far as conditioning wise. He picked up some sparring partners, even Sugar Shane Mosley's son jumped aboard and helped them out to fill in the two gaps as far as the sparring partners of the following week that they lost. So they actually picked up the slack. They filled in the gaps for the sparring partner, and they're just ready to go. A little bit of tension, as far as the last episode of All Access, episode 2 with Letter Ellaby, going ahead saying about the management team, saying, if you have a weak management team and throwing out the catch weight at 152, if you have a weak management team, and you can tell Canelo's manager was a little upset by that, by them words, and took a little bit personal. Canelo was a little bit more upset at the fact that he was just basically saying, line him up. None of these boys can beat me, Canelo, it looks like Mayweather's getting on the Canelo skin, but in a good way, not in a way of other fighters, getting in the head. It looks like he's just fueling Canelo up, and Canelo he's ready to go, physically, mentally, this boy's ready. Now, as far as on the Mayweather side, he's training. He's not going to show too much about his hard work and dedication, which he put forth in the gym, but he was showing, his entourage. He has his personal cook going ahead and for 20 of his closest friends and family members just cooking him cooking dinner at his house in his mansion, showing his car, showing his Ferrari, showing his Bentleys, showing the Phantom, the T-top, everything, showing it all, showing that nice Bugatti. That Bugatti's sick, white Bugatti. That Bugatti's no joke. If you're driving a Bugatti, fuck a Bentley. A Bugatti, if you're driving a Bugatti, you got it, But the one thing Mayweather does what he has to do. He's all show. It's hard work. He's definitely paying off for him. But as far as the chicks, the squad that he got, bro, what happened to Miss Jackson? I ain't even seen Miss Jackson in there. They really didn't talk too much about Miss Jackson. But all them other chicks, he has one chick massaging him. He has one chick being an assistant. He has one chick cooking. He has another chick. He has chicks all over the place, model bitches. But none of them bitches are bad, you know. I was looking at them. They were, they were tight. You know what I'm saying? They were nice looking, but they weren't bad. Come on now. I got boys that got badder bitches than that, you know. But Miss Jackson's bad. But none of them chicks were nicer than Miss Jackson. I'm sorry. None of them chicks they couldn't even come close to Miss Jackson. But them chicks were, they were mediocre. But you know what I'm saying? If you got Bugattis and you got millions and stuff like that, and that's the best you can scramble up, bro. Nah, my boy Chino gets better bitches than that. And he ain't got millions. Come on now. But anyways, let's go ahead and speak boxing. But, it looks like Mayweather's ready to go. Canelo's ready to go. We're ready to go. We're going to watch it at the Boxing Genius house. Subscribe, friend request. You have to. Check us out. There's a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of drinking, a lot of just partying, around the big screen TV. Just watching the boxing fight, watching the mega fight. Now, as far as my fight predictions, Delahoya said it, Delahoya said it. Delahoya said that he has the blueprint. He provided the blueprint to Canelo. He also provided the blueprint to Ortiz. Also provided the blueprint to Robert the Ghost Guerrero. He provided the blueprint to a lot of people. But I seen the Delahoya fight. I think Delahoya was the closest one to put his hands on Mayweather. That fight could have. I wouldn't have been upset if that fight went either. Or I had Mayweather winning those scorecards, not unanimous decision. I thought he was just. I had him winning the whole entire time. But I thought that was a close fight because Delahoya did put his hands on him. But other than that, Canelo's not Delahoya. Canelo's not unorthodox. Delahoya, you can't. Delahoya and Canelo are two different types of fighters. I think Delahoya's feet work. He's a little bit unorthodox. Delahoya, actually, Canelo's fast, but Delahoya is. It's just size and everything. It's just completely two different types of fighters. So Delahoya did put the game plan, but a lot of people, that's Delahoya's game plan. You can't, just because Delahoya did it, that means you can't do it. Canelo don't have to win like that. Canelo can't come in there and just beast it like that, like Delahoya did. Fight all 12 rounds, just throwing crazy combinations. Canelo's one thing about Canelo's nasty. He definitely has offense. He has defense. He can tweak up his defense a little bit, but he fights in splurts. And he rests. Usually when he's resting for long periods of time. But it looks like he put in definitely the work in Big Bear. So if the only weakness as far as Canelo is his conditioning. That's it. That's the only thing I see that's wrong with Canelo. He could tweak a little bit in his defense and stuff like that, but because Austin Trout did catch him with some clean shots. But as far as conditioning, he did beat Austin Trout. And, Canelo said his confidence level is through the roof. Why? Because Mayweather beat Cotto. Cotto lost to Austin Trout. And then Austin Trout, he beat Austin Trout. So he feels like I think he's in it, but he has to look at the circumstance a little bit different. When Mayweather fought Cotto were coming off of back-to-back victories. He had a tremendous training camp with Pedro Diaz. He's coming in with all this momentum coming in to fight Mayweather. That's the best time to fight a fighter. They're coming off several wins and having a great training camp. As soon as Cotto lost, no matter who Cotto fights next, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same whatsoever. Now, vice versa, as far as the Austin Trout versus Canelo Alvarez did win that fight. I think he won that fight unanimous decision. Did he win it easily? No, he didn't win it easily whatsoever. That fight, between rounds, there were some rounds that could have went either way. If Austin Trout would have landed at least 5% or more of the shots, the output, because Austin Trout was the more busy fighter in that fight. Don't get me wrong. Austin Trout, for every one punch Canelo threw, Austin Trout threw about 5. So he was more the busier fighter. So just say if Austin Trout just luckily landed 5% or even 10% more of his shots, he would have won the fight. The rounds I easily gave him to Canelo, but I see Austin Trout didn't catch him flush. Canelo actually landed the bigger shots, but there was a lot of punches that were just close to landing Canelo. But, that fight was clean decision, clean victory by Canelo, but it wasn't a dominating performance. Not a dominating performance to go ahead and say, you know what, Cotto gave problems to Mayweather, Austin Trout beat Cotto, I beat Austin Trout. You know, styles make fights is completely different, you know. But I tell you one thing, you're not going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr. and taking breaks like you did against Austin Trout. It's not going to happen. And Mayweather's going to be a little bit more accurate. Mayweather's going to be a little bit more slicker. Mayweather's going to be a little bit, he's going to utilize the ring to his full advantage, you know. So he's definitely going to have to be boxing, backing up. He's going to be boxing. He's going to have to be both the aggressor and he's going to have to be on defense, because Mayweather's going to mix it up. Mayweather's going to mix it up all times. You know, Mayweather's great. He's a master of his craft. He perfected his craft. Through the years of boxing, I give Mayweather that. He has definitely perfected his craft and put in the time, you know, hard work and dedication, putting in time in the boxing gym to know, you know, his plus and minuses, his strengths and weaknesses. Unlike, you know, he was in episode 3 on the Lil Wayne tour. You had Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner came into the dressing room, and Mayweather was just like, Mayweather's his big bro. He was like, damn, dude, you're getting fat. You should have seen Adrien Broner's eyes. He was like, oh, shit. My big bro just told me I look fat. But Adrien Broner, man, like, honestly, he said he went on 2 months on tour. 2 months on tour as far as rapping. Adrien Broner's not that bad. A lot of people were saying that Adrien Broner's a bad rapper. You know, he's an okay rapper. He's an okay rapper. If Adrien Broner, that's all he did was rap, you know, I think he'll drop an album in the music game and be okay, but I don't think people will buy for the second and third because he's just not that talented as far as rapping is concerned. But should he go on tour for 2 months? You know, let him do his thing, but, you know, his main bread and butter, he's a fighter. He has a lot of potential, A-class fighter, not even an A-class fighter. I would say he's like a C, B- fighter working his way up. He definitely has a lot of potential. And he needs to master that craft before he takes on a hobby as far as the music industry. You know, Mayweather did the same thing with Filthy Rich Records, you know, but that didn't distract him. He didn't take 2 months off and just dedicate himself to music and shit like that. You don't want to do that. It looks like Adrien Broner just immature-minded. You can tell his immaturity as far as just going on tour for 2 months. You just skipped 2 weight classes. You fought Paulie Malignaggi. Yeah, you beat Paulie Malignaggi. It was a close fight. You didn't dominate Paulie Malignaggi like you were supposed to. You jumped up 2 weight classes. You're holding a belt. And then the most important time of your career, you're going to go ahead and take 2 months off to go on tour, to go rap. And you're a mediocre rapper. You're not making any money being a rapper and going on tour like that. Come on, your boys are with you because they ain't got other shit to worry about. You know, of course they need you to go on tour and, you know, make moves so they can do something with their lives. But you need to put that on the back burner, bro, because honestly, you beat Paulie Malignaggi, and Paulie Malignaggi is the fucking worst fighter in the 147. Don't get me wrong, I like Paulie, not taking anything from Paulie, but dude, he's walking around thinking about, you know, because since he beat Paulie, he thinks that he's going to dominate the 147 like Mayweather. Dude, are you kidding me right now? Madonna, you better train your ass off for Madonna. That's all I'm saying, because Madonna's not no Paulie Malignaggi. I'll tell you what, if Paulie Malignaggi was to fight Madonna would have put a way better performance than you did. But I understand you came up 2 weight classes, but come on, man. Them 2 months is definitely going to show if you fight Madonna. But anyways, guys, great episode. I can't wait to catch the last episode, if there is going to be a last episode. Can't wait to catch the weigh-in. Can't wait to see the fight. What's my fight prediction? I'm going for Floyd Mayweather Jr. Not taking. I think Canelo. That fight could go either way. That fight could definitely. You know, Canelo's going to come in that weigh-in at 165 easily. He's going to come in and just, you know, rehydrate himself. He's going to be in the 160s. 165. Delahoya was 160, so it's not a problem. I think that fight's just going to be a test of skill. Skill and endurance. That's it. But in the boxing game, you just never know. One fight can end someone's night. But anyways, guys, this is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Friend request, subscribe. Have a good one. Make sure you guys catch the fight because we are going live. On Saturday night, you best believe we're after round 1, making a video. After round 2, making a video. Round 3, making a video. Round 4, making a video. And that's it. You know, Mayweather's not knocking out Canelo, so you can count that out. He's not knocking out Canelo. So hopefully I'll make about 5 or 6. You know, if Canelo knocks out Mayweather, then shit, you know, I don't see Canelo knocking out Mayweather. If he is going to knock out Mayweather, I don't see Canelo knocking him out past the 6th round. And I always said this in all my videos. Canelo, you have this many rounds right here. Let me do it. This many rounds right here. 6 rounds. 7. I'll say 7. You have 7 rounds. If you are going to knock out Mayweather, knock him out. Because 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're going to lose the rest of the 5 rounds. You know, I seen all your fights. As far as your endurance, you're not... Mayweather, not for nothing, Mayweather's just a beast as far as endurance. He's going to win the last 5 rounds. So you got 7 rounds to do your thing, Canelo. I'm just going to be a fan of this fight. I am going for Mayweather, but if Canelo wins, you know, I got to, you know, I respect it. You know, I'd like to see the rematch. If Mayweather wins, Canelo, it's still going to be a good fight. I don't think Mayweather's going to dominate Canelo. Canelo will put his hands on Mayweather. It's just up to Mayweather, see if he has the chin. But anyway, guys, friend request, subscribe, and have a good one.